energy. Living legends are reaching me. Sharing knowledge with you and me. Teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Yeah. Keep on building that synergy. One blood better than you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood better than you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood better than you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood better than you and me.
Hey everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Hello, hello, hello everyone. Happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. And God, you know I'm glad to be here this Friday, this particular Friday, because I want to first give some shout outs to some people that's been giving me kudos for passing this exam I had to take yesterday. I spent the last 4 days, guys, taking and studying for this exam, a project management exam, but I'm not going to get into that. But just know it took a lot out of me, but I am going to enjoy myself on this show today. So anyway, thank you for those who are congratulating me. Welcome to the 13th episode of the Sharon Lee podcast show. That's right, 13. I can't believe we're at 13. Guys, we've had 12 guests, or had 11 guests, and this is our 12th guest today. But I just want to welcome you all. I want y'all to do me a favor. I want to share a few ground rules with you. If you could please start sharing this out. Today is actually the 16th, and I really want to make this podcast go viral. We have an awesome podcast guest that I'm telling you, if you love painting, if you love art, if you love creativity, if you love, turning anything into, something with just using your hands, this is the podcast you want to be on. And we'll get more into that later. But I just want to give you all a little bit of background. You all know how we do it here. We laugh at ourselves, we learn about people, and we have fun while we leading. Okay, that's what we do. We have fun, we learn, and we lead. And I want to share with you on this podcast how we've been doing that here at my organization Rosa, how I do it here on my other platforms, my coaching platforms, my youth programs, my elderly programs, and we'll talk a lot about those later. But I just wanted to let you know that I am excited for you all to meet this wonderful guest, and we're going to get into it. But I'm also excited for this month. As you all know, that I've always talked about how important the power of 9 is. 9 is about completion, guys. 9 is about, creativity. 9 has so many positive, significant meanings behind it. And that's the reason why I'm excited to be in this month celebrating all of our guests, but the guest that's coming on the show in the month of September. So I want you to keep that in your mind. You all know me for numbers. I love correlating numbers. If anything dealing with power of 9, power of 5, I'm going to figure out what it is, and I'm going to bring it to your light, because I believe that when you connect numbers, it lets you connect yourself with people that you may have something in common with. And that's just based on my belief. So with that being said, I'm going to ask for our guest to come in, but I don't want him to give his whole story, because this is the reason for the podcast. I just want him to give a little bit about just who he is, and then he's going to pause, and then I'm going to ask him questions. I'm going to show a couple of video promos, and then guys, guess what? You all are going to win some stuff. Okay, when I say you're going to win some stuff, you're going to win big. So you have to listen, guys. Key to life is always listening. If you don't listen, you miss so much. Then guess what you have to do after you listen? You have to remember what you were told. You have to remember what you heard. And then you got to be able to regurgitate it back to the person that you're communicating with. If you can't do that, you're not really listening. And this is another reason for the podcast is to see how we can engage one another and listen. And thank you, Cynthia, for always supporting, always joining us. Good morning to you as well. Or good afternoon to you as well. And look forward to you asking questions of our guests and also engaging and giving comments. So, with that being said, I would like to bring in our guests now.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy
Hey, how
Friday.
are you? Thank you. How are
I'm
you?
I'm finding yourself. I'm great.
I am absolutely
Me
wonderful.
and Barry over here, out here on the back.
I see you out on the
Yes,
deck.
indeed.
I just want to make
I'm
sure.
CJ
I just want
Telfaire.
to. So what I would like for you to do, CJ, because it's going to be like a question and
Uh,
answer kind of interview. So I'll ask the questions and you answer them for me, and we're going to do them in face. But let me give you a few ground rules as well. So I start off with you, just giving a little bit about who you are, where you come from, where you were born, a little bit about your family, and then I'll ask you about your profession. What do you do? What it is that you're passionate about. And then after that, I'll ask you about your on your run story. What is your on your run story? And then after that, I'll find out what's coming up next for you. So in that order, and we got an hour show, so there's no need to rush it. We're gonna you have everything, in sync with one another. But again, I'll ask you about yourself. I'll ask you about your business. I'll ask you about what's your on the run story. And then I'll ask you what's next for you, what's coming up next for you. Okay?
okay.
Awesome. So, CJ, can you give us your full name,
No.
please?
My name is CJ Tel. um, I give people my full name. Um, I've never, since I was a child, I've never done that. Even in school, no one has called me by my real name. You know, when you born, people give you names and stuff, and I made my name when I was old enough, to make my name. So it's CJ. You
Well, I like that. I just wish I had known it before I put it on the flyer. Put your full name on the flyer.
That's fine. Fine.
All right. So cool, cool, cool. So, CJ,
From, from,
where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia. I grew up in Richard Island Projects, which is projects in the city, and just having the wrong name would get you in a whole nonsense when you're a child. When you're little, people would tease you and stuff like that. So my family is from Uptown, which is West Oak Lane in Philadelphia, though, and Southwest Philly. I come from basically upper middle class family, and my mom, that she wanted to be in love with somebody that wanted us in the project. So I wound up going in the project. You know, um, Abusive man, crazy abusive man. Abused all of us and stuff. Which is a long, long story. I'm always smart in school. I was a Colgate kid in school. I had a crazy childhood, crazy adventurous. Yeah, but we'll
Okay.
get into all that when you start asking questions and stuff. I'm sure you got a lot of questions. Yeah, I was an abused child, ran away from home when I was 12 years old, and became a graffiti artist. So that's where my art pretty much took, saying, my soul, like doing graffiti, being on them buildings at nighttime and in the subway tunnels and stuff. It was exciting.
Look, we're not gonna give it all to him now. Hold on, hold on. We're not gonna give it to them all. Okay, so what we're gonna
Right.
do is, no, that's okay. So you have any children?
Yes, I have three children. My oldest is a police officer in Norfolk. My son's studying to be a minister, and my youngest daughter fashion shows. She's a traveling stylist. New York, Philadelphia, LA. Yeah, she does runway stuff. I think the last thing she did was
Okay, your reception,
uh,
CJ, is kind of going in and out a little bit, and it's probably because you're outside. I can hear a little bit, but that's okay.
no, I'm like
So,
so I'm right next to the internet.
okay, it's just going in and out a little bit, but it's okay. So if a guys, guests, and everyone, if you find that there's a delay on your end, don't worry. We're gonna pick up the slack over here. So CJ, I heard it. You have three children. They're creative, just like their daddy. Okay, and they're doing wonderful things. One is going to be a minister. I heard one is a
Yeah,
fashion artist, and your other son, what did he do again?
and my oldest daughter is a police officer. She's a sergeant in the
Oh,
sheriff's
okay, police officer.
department.
Okay. Okay, yes, and I didn't hear daughter, but that's what I get for not listening. I don't know if it's the internet or
Yeah,
not. So that's what I said about this show, guys. Remember, we laugh,
it might have.
we learn, and we lead, even if we gotta laugh at ourselves. So let me just tell you all a little bit about how I came to just meet CJ. So for those who were at the 43rd annual Blacks in Government NTI conference in Cleveland, Ohio. They had just came back in person for the first time because of COVID-19. So I was very, very excited to be able to travel and go to a new location where I could, not only present my workshop, but also meet people, engage people, and just, find out, how much we have missed out there in the community. And I tell you, we have missed so much wonderful things are going on in the community. And CJ is one of those people who I'm glad I just happened to run into. So it was the last day of the NTI conference. I was getting my luggage just to check out of the hotel and wait for my shutter to go to the actual airport. And I saw CJ and his, I don't know if it was your girlfriend or your significant other, but I saw you all
No,
sitting on a,
that's one of my childhood friends. I've known her for 35 years,
oh,
actually.
wonderful. So I saw you all sitting on the
Yes.
sofa, and I just happened to see a picture that you were holding in your hand. And it was a picture of some duct tape, and it was picture of, I think, a Superman or Mega, and then it was a picture of the panda bear, the koala bear. Sorry, and
Wow.
koala. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, hey, what is this all about? Because I thought the picture was telling a story. And you just started explaining to me what that particular picture represented. And then you also explained to me that you had you have a company, which we're going to talk more about. But that same picture drew me to want to understand more about you, understanding more about why your art speaks to I would say I'm trying to think of the right word. Um, I want to say activist mindset. That's what drew me to you. It was that activist mindset in your picture, and I wanted to figure out where you were coming from. So I said, you know what? I'm going to learn more about you. I'm going to go check out your website. I'm going to speak to you, do an interview, and try to see if I can understand what you represent. So tell us a little bit about what you shared with me at the Cleveland NTI when you were sharing that picture with me. And I don't know if you have it, but could you share a little bit about what that picture
Is
represented?
is the is the original? This is the original right here of it.
Okay. Very nice.
It's
And
super.
you drew that, huh?
Yes, I did. I figured though when you saw it, I was doing it really big. So I drew this sketch at dinner, and then I came down in the lobby and I redrew it right there in the lobby. It took me about an hour and a half to do the whole thing on the big board. I colored it in and everything. I put double-sided tape on it, and I took it and stuck it on the wall in the convention center. Security was after me for
Okay,
They was
so
after
so
me. You know
hold,
that,
hold
right?
on. Let me back up because we not finished with what that picture represent. I want to know what that picture represented
Yeah.
first. So you drew the
So
picture in the
here,
lobby, you painted in the lobby, but you shared something with me. You shared that Sharon duct
here
tape was created in Cleveland, and you said the
in
Superman hero
Cleveland.
came out of Cleveland. And what else did you share with me that came out of
Yes.
Cleveland?
All the metropolis, city of metropolis that Superman lives in. Cleveland is actually that city. The Hall of Justice is right there, the hotel we were in, next to Hilton. But because the two things were made in England, I found that out in the airport when I got there. I was like, how do I combine and duck and like it was, and do something because Superman's S on his chest is the same as the MAGA hat. Most people don't even know that they made that the same colors as Superman S. That's like their hero. Like he's every corporate guy and stuff. So I put duct tape over his mouth. Shut up.
Okay. And I
Very
think
great.
that's what and I think that's what drew me to you. I said, why? So I asked you, I said, why is the duct tape first over his mouth? I kind of thought about the obvious because sometimes people can promote themselves and get rich off of it. But when other people promote maybe the negative side of the individual, they get looked at like, oh, something's wrong with you. Okay. So I want now you can share about what you did when you put the picture up in the lobby or wherever you put it at the convention.
So I put it up in the convention center on the way to where everybody was going to that party at the parties every night. And I left it there and told people that I had put it up because they was like, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, I'm sticking this on the wall. People can take pictures with it or whatever. Because it was a protest because there were no black artists in the convention center doing a black event. All of the black art was all outside of the convention center across the street. Some of it was vandalized and knocked over art. So I felt like, as a black artist and a graffiti artist, I've never in my life asked to put any art up anywhere. So I did it in a polite way and did it on a board. You just stuck there and taken down without damaging the property. You don't want to go to jail.
Right,
Uh,
right.
Security came and took it though. Guys was like, one of the security, he was like, yo, they furious about that junk. Like they is livid that you had. Like they looking for you. They on the cameras. They rewinding it back. They like, who did this? I'm like, looking for me. You don't look for me. I look for you. I went to their office and I had a problem with them taking it because I'm like, the whole point of me putting it up there is because America is not great shit like what you just did. You just censored me real quick. Some artwork. It wasn't doing nothing. It's some art. He tried to tell me that, oh, them other people are museum quality. I said, no, they're graffiti artists. It clearly says that I looked at their stuff. None of them are in museums. Anybody can be an artist. Art is expression. Graffiti has been around before writing. Before writing, humans did graffiti first. Cavemen drew on
So
the
so
first
so
form
I
of communication.
I definitely like you said, like we talked about in our pre-interview. The Sharon Lee podcast show is always about sharing information. I am more than ever conscious about what's going on out in society. And in order to make sure that I'm already always covered, I always like to put a disclaimer out there that even though we have guests on our shows, there's positive views, the views that you all may not agree with, you may agree with, and I'm just putting in a disclaimer out there that we're not promoting here anything that's going to cause any type of confusion, but what we do want to promote is consciousness, and we do want to promote being fair, and we do want to promote that, when it's time for people to show their creativity, yes, they got to get permission, to be able to do things that needs to be done. But when it comes to artists, you can't cloak an artist and say you got to do something this way or do something that way. It just doesn't work that way. You just can't do it. But if you attempt to do it,
Cannot.
I give you credit, CJ, for saying, look, to you, you did nothing wrong. And you did not have to wait for them to come and find you. You went to find them and you said, this is, why'd you do that? They gave you a response. It worked out all right. And I'm glad to hear that. So with that being said, I'm shared though, that's going to bring us into what I like to do for all of my guests. I always like to create a promotional video of the person's journey. Maybe not the full life journey, but just something that can connect me to how I met, this individual. So I'm going to share something with you. And Chris, if you could keep me and CJ on the screen as you bring up the video. Could you bring up that video for us now, please? Thank you, Chris. So CJ, while
was
you
great.
were while you were doing your thing, I was doing my thing. And this is what people have in common. You never
Relevant.
know who you're going to run into, and you never know what like-minded person is going to be on the same conscious level as you are. They just may have different techniques on how they like to get the vision out there. And I'm a person that's been around for a while. Okay. And for those who know me, they know me for a lot of different reasons. Being the president of an organization, a history organization called the Remembering Our Ancestors Synergistic Association, being a former commissioner of the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture. And I'm not saying these names to brag. I'm just talking to you. You never know who you're going to run into. Being a former president for
Right.
for the Robert C. Weaver Blacks in Government chapter, and a former president, for the Maryland chapter of American Mothers, Inc. So my strategy in life as being a community and next generation activist has always to inspire our community to never, ever forget about your history. to never ever forget about those who came before you, who fought these same battles that a lot of us are fighting today, fought them centuries ago, fought them decades ago. And we're still acting brand new, like we don't know what's happening out in the streets, right? Okay. So my motto is
Right.
not to be, I don't have a tunnel vision mindset. Even though I had not been out in a while on travel for conferences, I made it a point to do what you and I talked about, because you said a lot of people didn't even know those paintings were even across the street from the convention center. So I made it a point
At
to,
all.
just explore. And I walked over there and I saw the paintings and I fell in love. I'm like, oh my God, I hit the jackpot, because they were taking down those paintings. Okay, when I was literally capturing them, they would
Yeah.
literally begin to take them down the last day. So the majority of all they were at the convention at the NTI. I'm not sure if they had a chance to go over there to see them, but if they didn't, that's one of the reasons why I
I really.
captured them and I created that video. So
Yeah.
I just want
Yeah.
to
It was.
applaud
It was. It was.
you do.
Yeah. It was really a shame, that people didn't see it. I'm like, the artwork over there. People like, what artwork? I'm like, are you kidding me? It's some beautiful art across the street. Black art. They put it up for the convention, but they put it away off. Is what they did. And it was kind of sad. So that's what made me sure, because I'm like, you have a black conference, important black conference, and the black artists that put up, that did these beautiful works of art, like that one that show really touched me with the color purple scene where she was
Yes.
waving to us. Yeah. I was like, kudos, to the art there. But that should have been all in that hallway when you went in between the convention cell. Should have been full of that artwork, so that
So here's what I
it would have
did.
inspired.
Okay. So I don't know if you got two things going on. It's an echo on one of them, but here's what I did, CJ. I did a little research on that display, and of course, although we went to the Blacks in Government NTI in August, it was just on the heels of the celebration of Juneteenth. Okay, so a lot of those
Oh,
pictures were set out there, and they had been out there for a while in celebration of Juneteenth. So when by the time we got to Cleveland, some of the I guess the organizers of the Blacks in Government NTI may not have known that the art was still out there, i.e. that's the reason why they were taking them down that day, because I'm assuming they had been out there for a while. But the point of what you're sharing is that yes, we still should know about stuff like that. And then also you made a very good point too, is that some of those pictures were vandalized. Those pictures were, and as I even took pictures of them, I
yes.
know that some people stretched out the websites to some of the Sankofa artists who did that. A lot of those pictures, not only did I take what you see in the video, but there was like maybe a good 30, 40 more sitting on a block that they had just took down that I wasn't even able to capture. And there was a white man who was taking down the pictures. He was very, very informative, and he was just telling me it's a shame how there were people that vandalized those pictures. And what does that say? That says that
They kicked them over.
that same unconscious behavior, or that same conscious behavior to hate something that's beautiful, still exists in today's society. And the fact that you represented that picture to say to people, you can't promote negative just because you want to be in politics, and just because you want to make money, but then on the back end you're doing something really harmful against the community. And
Yeah.
I have a problem with
You're
that.
saying art, yeah,
Exactly.
like their say so is anyone else's. That was the whole point of, you think you're Superman and you can do anything and say anything, and no, No,
Right. Well, I I
no,
I, I
it was
applaud you for being creative. I applaud you for having a voice. But let's talk a little bit more about you and your platform. So now we're jumping to the business side. Give us a little bit of history about exactly your business. What does your business look like, and how did it get started?
Oh wow. My grandmother was a seamstress for Christian Dior, and Anne Klein. Philadelphia was a garment town. Most people don't even know that Philadelphia was to Europe and European clothing manufacturing. Um, Broadly, Botany 500 that had trains coming every day to pick up suits for Ralph Lauren, Oscar de la Renta, and all these different companies. In the 80s, all these jobs vanished and went to China. So it decimated Philadelphia. Philadelphia went from being middle class, upper middle class, to being poor across. Jobs disappeared and crack came into play. People epidemic with that, and it has never come, recovered from that. I'm one of the people that got caught up into that. I hustled and all that and wound up in prison. While I was in prison, my grandmother came and saw me every single week on Sunday. She was the first person in the visiting room every Sunday
Mhm.
for 11 years. The guards even came to work and shit. They was like, when we get here, she's there reading the paper. And they respected my grandma. They like this every week she here. They know she didn't falter like a mailman. And she told me as long as I was in there, she would be there. She brought my kids to see me. So I never missed a beat with my kids or anything. So I promised her that I would never go back to while I was in there. I started going to school. I went to
Mhm.
college and got accounting to business and business management degrees in prison. I fought my case to the Superior Court, helped me get a law put on the state of Pennsylvania book. I got an industrial arts and crafts degree, barber's license, psychology certificate, psychology certificate, and a lot more other things. I utilized because I met a man named Ed Africa also, who was a mentor to me. Wow, Ed's Mumia Abdul Jabbar's brother, if anyone knows who Mumia is. But Ed was part of the Move movement and doing something productive. And he sat down with me and taught me all this three that I didn't know about. And gave me the autobiography of Max, and he was like, "Yo, you could be just like Malcolm X." And man, he came to jail, a 30 no good criminal, and educated himself. So you can wake up and what I'm saying in these places. It's like Moses up on the mountain or Jesus going in the woods. The Prophet Muhammad in the cave. So out what you gonna do. Um, this will always stick with me too. He said prison could be one through a fool's paradise or wise man's university. No,
Your
and
reception, your
always
reception is
kept
getting
that
a
to
little.
heart.
Thank you for sharing that. Your reception is getting a little light. But we have a question out here. I want to thank Sir Charles for joining us. I want to thank him for always supporting the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show and my platforms. And also, he's a new sponsor as of this morning to the show. So I want to welcome Sir Charles for being a sponsor
Okay,
to the Sharon Lee Podcast
nice
Show.
to
But
meet you.
he had a question. He wanted to know, do you tailor men and women clothing?
Yes, I have a couple seamstress, Nina Streets in Philadelphia sews my clothes for me. I can design anything. As an artist, I realized once again while I was behind them bar is the most important thing to the world. And drawing faces and cart stuff, that's cool. That's easy and simple, but you can draw buildings, cities, clothes, cars. You can create anything. An artist's responsibility is to build the life that other people only and can think about. That
Absolutely.
someone's get described to you. So yeah, I can do anything. You want a space shuttle, I can design that for you.
Okay. So let me ask you, you have a bear behind you. And there's an echo coming from it, your
Yes.
device. I'm not sure if it's two things up or not, but again, I need to have one of them. But tell me about this bear. What does this bear represent?
This is my company mascot.
And does it have a name?
Yes, his name is Barry. He's named after Barack Obama's script word for blessings, which is Endeavor. His name is Barry Endeavor.
I love it.
Um, Barry Barry came to life when I was taking the business. They told make up the fictitious business for your class to pass the class. I did a fictitious business. I made up what I was going to do when I got out of there and came up with. And Coowala is cool plus voila, which means instantly. This is a koala tea, and only
Love
selling the qualified people. A qualified person is someone that believes in a just cause because people do it all the time, pun intended. Um, just causes are suicide prevention. I know 4 people that killed themselves in my lifetime. Domestic violence, of course, child abuse, cancer. Several people in my family died from cancer. And we support all different causes because Barry is our mascot and our company emblem. Yeah, we're trying to do some good in the world too, besides
Awesome.
just selling some clothes to people.
I love it. So let
You know,
me
he's he's also he's about to be the bear that they give out at domestic violence and child abuse centers too next year. We have Miss
okay.
Natalie Perdiz, Miss godmother now. She's the voiceless. Yeah, we great start a good campaign. While we were at Big, all sponsorship with Big too. Um,
Awesome.
yeah,
Okay, so
that's a
let
big.
me we're going to take a little break right now, and we're going to bring up a video promo. And this is for someone to win something. This is an opportunity for someone to win. So we're going to play the ninth annual Leading Within video promo. We're having our ninth annual on September 24th, which is next Saturday. We're excited about it. Again, we're in the Power of Nine month, and we're 9 days away before we celebrate our ninth annual. So with that being said, if we could bring that video up.
Evil Empire, laughing all the way to the
Blackpink in your area.
Evil Empire, laughing all the way to the
I just love that video. I want to thank Lisa Dove Washington from DS, I think DMS, no, DSM Media, Dove Style Media for creating this video promo. She's a sponsor of the Sharon Lee podcast show as well. I like to always thank our engineer, Only Greatness Media Production for working with us behind the scenes. Of course, making sure that we show up professionally. I also want to just say, guys, if I want to give you an opportunity to win a seat at the table. Now, I have a sponsor who her name is, we call her Doxita, and Doxita has purchased 2 general tickets. They're $75 a piece for early bird ticket. It expires today. So I'm going to have 2 winners. Only the winners that's going to come and bring someone with you. So not only will you get your first ticket free, your second ticket will be only $75, and that's only going to pay for your food because we're going to have a 5-course meal. We're going to have entertainers, comedians. We're going to have music. We're going to have a photographer. We're going to really give this event 110%. But you have to win the question. You have to win. The question is, what is the name of one of the artists that I showed in the video? What is the name of the art, not the artist, but the actual picture? There's several pictures that were showed. Tell me who you saw in the picture. If it was an ancestor, if it was something that represented an individual person, let me know who you saw in the actual video. And if you win, you get a free ticket, but you got to bring someone with you. So you win free, and then you purchase a ticket and you bring someone with you. So you're saving $75. So for those who get the answer right, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, 3 minutes max to put the answer in the comment. You will win one free ticket to the 9th annual Leading Within conference. Remember, guys, this is not about just, showing up. We're talking about legacy. We're going to talk about finance. We're going to talk about military resources. We're going to talk about what your story means to you. And after that, we're going to just have fun. We're going to laugh at the comedians. We're going to eat some good food. And then you all get to network and collaborate. As CJ has been telling you, a lot of things are changing, guys, in our communities. A lot of people are conscious to it. A lot of people are not. And there's a lot of opportunities that are missed. So the theme for our conference is how. How represents history, opportunity, and wealth. And that's what we need to focus on as people plan, unfortunately, against those who are underserved. We got to create opportunities for those who are trying to make it, like our artist, our podcast guest today. He is using his creativity to have a message, to help people, to serve people. So we want to help him grow his business. How do you do it? You got to know your history. You got to be around people who can connect you with people. That's opportunity. And most importantly, that's how you start working together to build wealth. If you can think that you can continue to do it alone, I don't know how many decades more it's going to take for us to get it. We cannot do this thing alone. We got to work together. So again, history, opportunity, and wealth. The 9th annual Leading Within conference that's going to be held at the Maggiano's in Annapolis, Maryland, the historic guys, Annapolis, Maryland, the home place of the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture, the home place of the Banneker Douglas Museum, Frederick Douglass, Benjamin Banneker Museum, the home of where a lot of our ancestors first came in and got dispersed all over the world. That's where we're going to be at the 9th annual Leading Within conference. Priceless. You can't get back that type of collaboration. So with that being said, I'm waiting for the answers to come in. You got 2 minutes. Rosa's 9th, and also Chris, if you could share the flyer that I shared as well, the Rosa's 9th annual Leading Within conference. I want to thank all our teammates. Perfect. Thank you. I want to thank Tanique for working with, us here to host the first, her and her partner Will at Ill Will Production for hosting the first annual, not first annual, but first comedian comedy show at our 9th annual. I want to thank, again, our keynote speaker, Trayvon Jackson, for agreeing to be the featured keynote speaker and talk about being a financial advisor and talk about how to, if you're lucky to have a job, or if you're blessed to have a job where you can save money and everything. He wants to show you how you can save it, but make money too. I also want to thank our guest speaker, Sabrina Cobb, who's really a true community readiness consultant. She knows where the resources are if you're in the military. She knows how to help you collaborate with other, like-minded people in the military to work together to get resources. I definitely would like to thank, Laughing Larry, for being one of the comedians. Thank Sean Miller and thank David Carter. Look forward to hearing you all do your thing. And no, I totally want to always thank our team. Like I said, I can't do this by myself. So Lisa, Dev Washington, Lynn Davis, I'm Simpson, Cynthia, Lane, Lucky. I can't think of everyone because the flyer just left me, but Deetris, Chris, Tara, all of you all. Thank you. I just want to make sure I have everybody covered. Oh yeah, and Brianna, thank you, Brianna. I want to thank all of y'all for and for just serving on the project management team and serving on making this event a success. So we're going to move on now, and we're going to bring back in CJ, and we're going to jump to the On the Run story. Now, CJ, this is where the juice come in. Now, you've already shared a lot with us about your journey. You shared a lot with us about why your creativity is so important to you and also, the world. You shared a lot about your mom, which when I did your pre-interview, it just blew me away because I don't think I really grasped it until just now. When you said that you all were a part of the upper middle class, back in the 80s, and you had shared that your grandma unfortunately had lost her job, and I think she was making clothes for those over in China that sell to us here in America, and you were giving all these brand name people who these clothes were made by. But when she lost her job, it just took the family, middle class down to, whatever, level you want to put yourself. I don't ever like to put no one in classes, but I do understand that economy is the issue. And when you lose your
it is classes.
Yeah, when you lose your
It's
job,
classes. We are all Americans, right?
yes.
We live here. America, we're born here in America. When we leave outside of America, people don't be like, that's a black. They be like, you're American. They love you because you're American. Inside of this country, separated ourselves like we're not Americans. And that's another point of that artwork. Like, you know what I'm saying? We need to start thinking of ourselves as Americans, get ahead in life because they learn how to be American citizens. Americans don't learn how to be American citizens. You don't know your rights and all of these different things. My advice to people is to go be a tourist for a minute in your own city. It's a lot historically, and take a citizenship class. You'll learn so many things you didn't know about your rights and what you can get from the government and all. They give you all information that you don't get nowhere else. Become a citizen.
And you know what? You
That's
hit
it.
I like the way you said what you said about go out there and explore where you live. Most people don't do that. Go out there and explore where you live. So with that being said, again, trying to focus on your grandmother and what she wanted for your life. She knew that because of the jobs being lost, her family was impacted behind it. And just like every family out here, that when we have children, if our children go down the wrong path, a lot of times it's because they don't have either the right directions in their home. For whatever reason, the streets would teach you quicker than anyone, especially when you're in poverty.
Right.
So especially when you're disadvantaged, especially when you're underserved. They prey on those who don't have, and I get that. So this is bringing us right into the segment of your On the Run story. Tell us, what's your On the Run story? What were some things that you were running from as a childhood, but felt like I can't do it anymore? I need to now run to opportunities. If you could share that with us.
Well, I was rebellious kid, once I ran away from home. Later, I became in 4 different states, multiple states. And when I got 20 years in prison, And they took everything that I had accumulated and fell sweet. It was gone like poof. Just everything. Money, clothes, every jewel, everything was gone. I became one of the most neediest people in the world, and that feeling didn't sit right with me. Help was put and my grandma was there. She was there, and she made me promise every week. It was horrible. It was great and hard at the same time for her to come to that prison, but she made me promise so I would do something better with my life. So I think
So you found what's
streets
the bear name again?
I
So
say
you
again.
found your creative gift in this bear. Barry, what's Barry's full name?
Indivar.
Barry Indabar? Can
Barry
someone
Indivar.
type that in the
Yes.
comments, guys, so we can show our people, our guests who's watching it, what this bear name is, because I think that is so profound. Just like I have Sharon Lee on the run. Creativity comes out the way it comes out, and there's no way you can block it. But it does serve several purposes. So if we could type that in the comment. I want to thank our guest who's joining us. I saw Cynthia Lane again. I saw Sandra Wright. I want to thank you for joining us, Sandra. My Sir Charles, I want to thank you for joining. Definitely feel free. Wendy, Glenn, I want to thank you for joining. Pearlie, Shantae, I want to thank you for joining. We really appreciate you all being here, and we hope you are really enjoying this what I would say, is a real life story on the run. It's a story about a person who went through challenges. It was about a person, family who were once middle class, was thriving, with their family, raising their kids, and bad luck hit because of the companies got transferred over to China, and his grandmother could not take care of him. Unfortunately, there's some bad decisions that were made that, I couldn't believe when you said that you had been in there for 20 years, and then whatever, all of the stuff that you accumulated was just taken from you. So I guess the on the runs factor for you is you obviously understood you made a lot of mistakes. You obviously understood that's
Yes.
what landed you, unfortunately, in jail, and you wanted to become a better person, and you started using that download, that gift from God, that you started listening more and appreciating, your ancestors, your grandmother, saying to
Right.
you, look, I don't want to see you in this kind
Right.
of place. Way more to offer because I know what I'm made of. If I can make clothes for top end fashion people, you have no idea how much how gifted you are. So I want you to get out of here, and when you get out of here, I don't want you to ever go back. And I want you to use your gifts for the betterment of people. And CJ, that's what I like
Yes,
about it.
it is.
That's what you're sharing it. You're using your gifts for the betterment of people, and you're being an activist by being conscious to let people know that life is not fair. Those who are privileged, those who may not have to worry about, finance, everything will always be good. But when the chips are down and everything, and you're on the other end of that spectrum and everything, you may be treated a little unfairly. And you may, and not that you are going to make bad decisions, but you may. And if you do, everyone deserves a second chance, guys. Everyone deserves a second chance. And I'm glad that you are sharing your artwork with us. I would like for Chris to share again your video for those who missed it earlier. I want her to share your video again. And then when we come back, I want to ask you what's next for CJ and that wonderful bear.
One thing now. I picked.
Thank you. Thank you. CJ, you were about to say something before we share that video, so I apologize, but I definitely want you to share what you were about to say.
No, it's okay. The part of the on the run story that I was getting to was I decided on clothing what to do because clothing is one of the most important things in the world. People don't even realize how important your clothing is to you personally. And in fact, if you put on an outfit you really like, you feel great about yourself. You your head is held and all that, but people don't put on their best outfit every day. So your mood is day when all you had to do is put on a nice ass outfit and your mood will be elevated. Feel confident in yourself. It don't matter if you're going to the Walmart, the supermarket, look your best. And you always feel your best. You'll never feel down. No, that's how important clothing is. Food, clothing, and shelter is what you need these things. You know, then what is the money that you're spending on your clothing being used for? Think about that for a second.
Excellent point.
All
Excellent.
is owned. The mall is owned by one company right now. FC. They're on the stock exchange. They own shoe companies. So it's the whole mall is one big store, and you're running around spending money on labels. All of the clothes are the same. If you go in any store in the mall, go in there and look for a pair of black jeans, you will not be able to find them because Lee makes all the jeans and they dye the blue jeans and make them black now. No blue, no more. They cutting corners and they put in different labels. So you'll notice that all the jeans with different tags. Some of them might have cuts in them, a little splash of bleach. The same thing over and over again. You walk through the mall, it's a certain color, and everybody just agreed on that color. No, it's one company.
So Sir Charles
This
Curry
brought
was
out
saying,
all.
I'm sorry.
This
Sorry.
company brought out
CJ.
all of the clothing brands. This is important to me. Clothing brands in the 90s. Rockaway, Sean John, Nelly with Apple Bob, Kimura with Baby Fat had taken over the women's clothing industry. And these, well, these corporations got together and, was like, we're going to buy these out, all these companies, and they keep the stuff around even now. They're still making the same rock, all that, but they put it in the lowest end scumbag stores they can see it. Psychologically, they like, look what happened to that. And it makes you don't want to buy brands and stuff. It's a psychological war that they're fighting with us, knowing that clothing is important as it is.
So I get your point. I totally get your point. And again, it goes to show how unfair society may be at times for those who have and those who have not. What I like about your on the run story, and hi Maria, thanks for joining. What I like about your on the run story is you found your passion, you found your gift. You got that gift, transferred down from your grandparents, probably from your great grandparents or your great great grandparents, and just didn't never knew that they lied within you. But not only do we appreciate your story, not only do we appreciate your effort from, educating us about how important it is to know about the importance of, you know, everything, food, shelter, clothing, all of that plays a part, and we get it. I think for me as an individual, I sometimes I think we can get too much of something, and because we get too much of something, that may sometimes take away from those creative people out there that know if you're going to invest in this, Don't wear it one time and put it on the shelf and go buy something else new, in the store and spend $300-$400 in the store, because, that's not really what it's all about. Spend time appreciating, quality gifts that people put their quality time in. And that's what I definitely want to share. Sir Charles always also said that Michael Jackson said, all I want to say is, wait a minute. Okay, that's what Michael Jackson said, Sir Charles. Thank you for that. And it's not about they. They is us. Okay. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies, and we don't take ownership to that. Okay, we're the one that decides to go spend money where we not wanted. Okay, we're decided to go and support other platforms for whatever reason, because we don't believe in quality stuff that people or disadvantaged people are actually creating. But think about it, guys. If that's happening, we're trying to be a solution. Okay, we're not going to be the problem. We're not going to talk about the bad stuff. This show is about laughing. It's about learning, and it's about leading. So the way we laugh is we laugh at our mistakes, we correct those mistakes, and we start learning what we need to learn so that we can better ourselves, and then we start leading in the community. That is the reason why I do what I do. And Chris and CJ, we got a little bit more time, so I'll ask you another question, but don't worry. Chris, I would like for you to bring up the Leading Within through Project Management coaching program, because I think this really is a perfect time to talk about some of the things that we do ourselves that we don't realize. We are not good at team management. We're not good at developing teams. We're definitely not good at time management. And I sometimes it's even myself. I got so many things on my plate until it's hard to juggle so much stuff. So team management, time management, commitment to getting tasks done, working with other people, really working with other people, not just trying to jump on their platforms, get what they got, and then go and support yours or go support somebody else. Really sticking in there and hanging with something that you are really passionate about and you have a mission about. Why am I sharing that? Because it's happening all around us, guys. We got a lot of people competing with one another. We got a lot of people, saying that we're about a particular business or a particular mission or about a particular initiative, but then we go and jump and spend our money elsewhere. I tell you, I really had to step back on how I think. And what caused me to step back is taking project management coaching program. Project management coaching programs taught me how to be focused. It taught me how to not only say what I'm going to do, but work what I say I'm going to do. And if I can work it with a team, that's even better. Okay, so that's what the flyer was showing. The flyer was showing that I'm on my 3rd year of teaching the Leading Within through Project Management coaching program. This coaching program is a discipline, but believe me, those dreams that you need to get out of your head and birthed into a project, this is the course for you. If you're having an issue with building up a team so they can work with you on an ongoing basis, this is the course for you. If you're having an issue with your time management, if you're multitasking and doing so many things that you can't focus on your own business, you need this course. So I'm going to ask someone if they want to win a seat in this class, but you got to get the answer right. It's another opportunity for you to win a gift. Okay, so if you can give us at least 5 or 3 names of the designers that CJ talked about. He said his grandmother was working in Philadelphia and she lost her job, and she was working for these, making clothes for 3 famous, fashion gurus, or if you will. Give us those 3 names, and then you'll win a seat to the 3rd season of the Leading Within through Project Management coaching program that will start on September 26th. 2 days after the conference, guys. Yes, it's only a 5-month program. You only have to be in the class one evening a month from 7 to 8, and you're going to benefit in all 5 disciplines. Y'all know me. I hold up my cup a lot of times when I'm speaking because I want y'all to see I live what I talk about, but it's about this cup right here. Shows the disciplines of project management, initiation, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and then closing out your project and moving on to something else. Those phases, those 5 phases, guys, are a discipline. And we as a people, I believe, really need more of project management mindset. I'm not asking for you to be a project manager. I'm just asking for you to think about the process. If you're a certain type of person like I am an introvert. Okay. I prefer to be behind the scenes working my plan. But if in order for me to come out and share with people who I am and what I do, I jump into that extrovert mode. Sometimes an extrovert needs to step away from always wanting to speak and being out there and go back, in the corner and plan and map out their mission and map out their path for their business, for their family, and also for their community. So, CJ, if you could tell us what's coming up next for you.
We're getting ready to open a retail location in Atlanta, 1531 Ralph Avenue Boulevard, across the street from the Slutty Vegan. On the West End, a mentor that owns the West Side Makers in Atlanta, Mr. Baba. He did, hand carved all of the caskets for the African Memorial in New York City when they sent the bones back to Senegal that they found in New York. But he makes shoes from scratch, so he's gonna show me how to move. Can't wait for that. We got the sponsorship from, of course, that's going to be major next year. Barry's going to be the bear that they give out at domestic violence centers and child abuse centers, with Natalie Perdiz, who is the voice of The Voice. She's been on Oprah, Dr. Phil. She has I Dated a Psycho, and she has a Lifetime movie about everything. She's a really prominent person. She's his godmother now. Just a lot of big things. The Coowala store we're planning on opening. Company name is Cool Plus Voila, which means cool. So we're gonna form an African American version of a Dick's or Macy's, and start getting some of these department stores that's been closed down, have Black designers and African American minority designers and these things, and have an outlet for people to come to in the next coming year to purchasing things from us. Our company is big customization and job creation, so we're gonna get some brothers going, a factory in Philadelphia at 1500 East Luzerne Street. We look to getting that up and going and making some high-end clothing at a reasonable price and competing with the Louis Vuittons and Gucci's and these other people. Things are looking up for us.
Well, that's what it's all about. That's exactly. So, Chris, if you could show that promo video again for our 9th annual, because this is a perfect thing to lead in. We're not only talking with someone that's found his gifts after challenges, but now he's trying to be running to the bank, or in our case, laughing to the bank as he's using his creativity to not only serve others. And Barry Indivo, we just love you, baby. You got to hold her up, or hold Barry up, so we can see him some more, because we want to thank him for joining us. We want to definitely thank him for being about, your brand. And we love to see him on more clothing, more hats. I even would like to invite you all out to Maryland, especially in 2023 when we host our 10th annual Leading Within conference. But with that being said, Chris is going to bring up the promo video again, and then we're going to go out with our theme song, and I'm going to see if anyone has put in the chat the answers so they can win the ticket. So, all right, guys, here's your opportunity to win the ticket to the 9th annual and also to the coaching program. But first, Chris is going to bring up the video.
Evil Empire, laughing all the way to the bank.
Blackpink in your area.
Evil Empire, laughing all the way to the bank.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we're gonna I just want to thank you, CJ, for being here. I want to thank you for sharing your story. I want to thank you for being transparent. Oh, what is that? That is nice. Wait, why didn't you show us that earlier? What is like that? Zebras, okay, and okay. Wait a minute, and a giraffe. Thank you for sharing that. We can't wait to see some more of your pictures. I'll be talking to you. My team will be talking to you. Let me see the next one. Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Wow, look at that. Look at the braids, guys. And look how it turns into whatever that's going into her eyes. I don't know what that signifies, but I like it. Okay, maybe that's a conscious picture. Okay. Nice, very nice. Awesome.
It's Eve. Look. Of course, Denise Williams.
Oh, nice. All right, so CJ, we're going to definitely be finding out more about you and learning more about your artwork. We got the website that we're going to share. This video can always be shared with anyone. So you can just go on our YouTube channel, Leading Within with Sharon Lee, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can watch all of the past podcasts. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, Sir Charles Carey, Great Media, Only Greatness Media Production, Chris, Lisa Dove Washington, Dove Style Media, everyone, also Doc Cedar again. Thank you, Doc Cedar, for those 2 tickets. I don't think someone won because I don't see those responses. So I hope y'all were listening, but I don't see the answers in there. So you don't miss out on a couple of free platforms. And like I said at the top of the show, the way to make it in this world, you got to be tuned in. You got to listen, and you got to remember what people are sharing, because that's going to save you money in the long run. Okay. Thank you, Koala. Look, Barry. Thank you for being with us. And we're going to just go. CJ, stay behind. We're going to do some pictures in the green room. So Chris is going to take us out. Guys, thank you for being here today on the 13th episode of the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to come back next Friday, as we will have another guest that I'll share with you later. But it's a day before our 9th annual Lead Within Conference, and we're going to do it up extra big. Thank you, CJ, and stay behind, please.
Sharon.